In a world where everyone's gone mad, people have transformed into monsters, slaying and devouring each other to seize power. Amidst the chaos, only one man, a concept artist named Chang Mo, remains clear-headed, calmly reading a book. But in a mad world where people give in to their wildest emotions and cause destruction, he is the only one who stays sane. As he walks through the ruins, surrounded by the terrifying consequences of this madness, he wonders if remaining clear-headed is truly a blessing. For the past 30 years, humans have become unable to control their emotions. This is a disease, an emotional illness that has plagued the world. The scene shifts to a sky art department gathering. A trivial complaint about unchilled wine and watermelon with seeds is enough to set someone off. The art department director, Zhang Yanfei, loses his temper, his face contorted with rage as he screams at his colleagues. In response, art department assistant Wu Jingjing yells back, telling him to just die if he's going to be so fussy. The two continue to shout at each other, their argument escalating over minor issues, a clear sign of the emotional illness. Chang Mo, ever the peacekeeper, steps in. He calmly tries to de-escalate the situation, apologizing on the director's behalf and asking everyone to calm down. His intervention backfires. Enraged at the interruption, Director Zhang smashes a wine bottle over Chang Mo's head. The entire room falls silent. The partygoers who were just enjoying themselves now stand frozen, shocked by the sudden violence. Director Zhang's rage intensifies, his eyes glowing red as he breathes heavily, completely consumed by his anger. His face twists in a mask of pure fury, his features distorted by the overwhelming emotion. Suddenly the rage subsides. Director Zhang is horrified, stammering apologies. Despite his bleeding head, Chang Mo reassures him, urging everyone to just have fun. Later, Chang Mo stands apart from the crowd, wiping the blood from his wound as he watches his colleagues try to return to normal. A company colleague, Yi Li, approaches him, noting how much he is able to endure. Chang Mo replies that it can't be helped, as he's the only somewhat normal one in the department, hinting that he can see something the others can't. And he's right. He sees the true reason for their emotional outbursts, a grotesque, red, fleshy sac growing out of their heads. The sight triggers a memory. The scene flashes back to when Chang Mo was 10 years old. It was then that he saw his first sac. It was a sac growing on his own mother's head, right in their kitchen. At first, he thought he was hallucinating from the grief of his father's recent death. But from then on, he noticed his mom started getting angry more and more frequently. And as her anger grew, the sac on her head grew larger and larger, her rage becoming more and more terrifying. He would later learn the horrifying truth of the emotional illness. Once the sac on a person's head reaches a certain size, it is doomed to explode. And a person's head explodes along with it. This memory is why, from that day forward, Chang Mo never got angry again, believing it was the only way to avoid that terrifying fate. Returning to the party, Chang Mo watches his colleagues argue, thinking to himself what a bunch of lunatics they are. As the argument continues, he sees that Director Zhang's sac has grown to a terrifying size and is about to explode. Chang Mo stands by, silently observing the impending disaster. He decides he has to intervene and calm the director down. His colleague, Yi Li, questions his decision, thinking he didn't care about them. Chang Mo admits that he doesn't really care on a personal level, but it would be very troublesome if someone were to die. Just as he finishes his thought, the sac on Director Zhang's head violently explodes. Chang Mo and Yi Li can only watch, stunned by the sudden and grotesque event unfolding before them. But instead of a gory explosion of flesh and bone, brilliant flames erupt from the director's head. The flames shoot upwards, engulfing the man in a pillar of fire. Chang Mo's eye reflects the fiery transformation, his mind struggling to process what he is seeing. Director Zhang screams as the fire reshapes his face, twisting it into a monstrous and demonic visage. He lets out an inhuman roar, no longer a man but a creature of pure, fiery rage. Chang Mo stares in disbelief, his lifelong understanding shattered. This wasn't death. This was a transformation. "Monster," he mutters. The man who had been arguing with the director tries to act tough, but his bravado quickly crumbles into pure terror. The fiery monster lunges, swiping at its victim with newly formed razor-sharp claws. Panic erupts. The other employees scream that Director Zhang has gone crazy and killed someone, and they scramble to run for their lives. Chang Mo is frozen, trying to make sense of it all. Why did Director Zhang turn into a monster instead of dying? This new reality forces him to confront the question that has haunted him for years. But why did my mother die? As he stands lost in thought, Yi Li grabs him, urging him to escape. While pulling him away from the chaos, Yi Li reveals a shocking truth. When a sack bursts, people don't die. They transform into emotional monsters, controlled by their own extreme emotions. She explains that they can even use supernatural powers to vent their emotions freely. In the background, the transformed Director Zhang rampages, proving her point. As they flee, Chang Mo asks the question again, if that's the case, why did my mother die? Yi Li cryptically replies, don't worry, it should be soon. Behind them, the monster roars in agony, its fiery form writhing in pain. Suddenly, its head explodes in a shower of black, viscous liquid, its rampage coming to an abrupt end. The now lifeless body of Director Zhang collapses to the floor, leaving behind a black splatter. The remaining employees are stunned into silence. They saw the director's head suddenly explode, and just as quickly the fire was extinguished, leaving them with more questions than answers. Chang Mo realizes the other employees are completely unaware of the monstrous events. Yi Li confirms that ordinary people can't see the transformations or the monsters. They can't see the massive, fiery, emotional monster that has just consumed what was left of Director Zhang. Yi Li then delivers the devastating truth. This is how his mother died. She transformed into an emotional monster, was controlled by it, and finally became food for another, stronger monster. Chang Mo is speechless for a moment before finally murmuring, I see. The horrible truth begins to sink in. Yi Li adds, more accurately, his mother became food for those who can control their own emotional monsters. Yi Li confirms that an emotional monster is linked to its master, implying a sentient mind behind the chaos. And since the monster is linked to its master, she tells him he can easily find the one responsible right here in the crowd. It's him, a man in a pinstripe suit, with sharp sideburns and a cruel smirk, calmly holding a glass of wine amidst the panic. A memory surfaces. It's the same man, younger, talking to a 10-year-old Chang Mo. Chang Mo remembers him as Little Li Ji. Yi Li confirms his memory. The man's name is Liu Li. He was Chang Mo's neighbor back then, and now he's a big shot. His public identity is the vice president of Wave International. But covertly, he is a sentient being who can control his own emotional monster. She explains his horrific method. He deliberately spreads an emotional virus of anger, causing people to lose control and contract the illness. He then waits for them to transform into emotional monsters and preys on them to gain power. The entire party, all the chaos, it was all by design. From the very beginning, they had all stepped into Liu Li's hunting ground. And then Yi Li delivers the final, soul-crushing blow. According to her investigation, the first person Liu Li ever preyed on was Chang Mo's mother. Images flash through his mind as the truth solidifies. His mother's sudden loss of control was because Liu Li infected her with the virus. She died because he controlled his monster and ate hers. His entire family was ruined, his life defined by a trauma that was, in reality, a calculated murder, all because of him. Chang Mo processes the information with chilling logic, clarifying that Liu Li's targets are those who transform into emotional monsters, so he can seize their power. He concludes that since he is immune to the emotional illness and can't transform, he cannot be Liu Li's prey. He believes he is safe. Yi Li is taken aback by his detached response. No revenge for his mother, but Chang Mo coldly reasons that he's not going to throw his life away fighting a supernatural killer based only on her word. She notes how calm he is, but then poses a question that cuts through his composure. How can you have the illusion that you're not sick? Chang Mo is stunned, unable to comprehend her words. What do you mean? He asks, his rational facade starting to crack. Yi Li leans in, her expression grim as she prepares to reveal the final, terrible truth. What I mean is, she says, as a vision of a strange, massive, crystalline entity appears, you are the one who is most sick. The revelations cascade. Liu Li's prey from the very beginning was you. The person he most wanted to transform, the one he most wanted to eat, was always you, Chang Mo. As if on cue, a voice cuts through the air. It's Liu Li himself appearing right behind Chang Mo. Yo, long time no see, you've grown so big. Chang Mo tries to play dumb, telling Liu Li he has the wrong person. But Liu Li just laughs, grabbing his shoulder and saying they should catch up properly. With a sinister smile, Liu Li says that while it might be presumptuous, he'd like to ask for Chang Mo's help. Could you please get a little angry? He asks, before kicking Chang Mo violently across the floor. The sudden attack confuses the other employees. Having just seen the incident with Director Zhang, they are angry that this new guy is causing trouble and rush to defend Chang Mo. Yili rushes to his side to check on him. Chang Mo, clutching his stomach, insists that he's fine. Liu Li looks on, unimpressed. No matter how much he hits him, Chang Mo doesn't get angry. He coldly concludes that Chang Mo must be someone who doesn't care about himself. So Liu Li decides to change tactics. With a snap of his fingers, he targets the colleagues who had come to Chang Mo's defense, igniting them with his power. He summons his own fiery, emotional monsters, the very same kind of predator that consumed Director Zhang. Chaos erupts again as a massive fire breaks out. The unsuspecting employees scream and flee, thinking it must be a gas leak. Surrounded by the flames, Liu Li taunts Chang Mo with a twisted grin. If your colleagues are hurt, will you be angry? Chang Mo's mind flashes to his colleagues. Despite their own emotional issues, they were actually quite good to him. He remembers Wu Jingjing, surprised he was only 18, kindly offering to introduce him to her younger sister. It was a simple, friendly moment at the office, a small gesture of kindness. He remembers another colleague, cheerfully calling him over for lunch together. He'd even insisted on paying, telling Chang Mo not to worry about it since he had just started working. Back in the present, those same kind colleagues are being burned alive. With their last breaths, they yell for Xiao Chang to hurry and run. In an instant, they are turned to ash, their bodies disintegrating before Chang Mo's eyes. Liu Li smirks, finding the carnage amusing. Everything's turned to ash and you're still indifferent, he says. Can you really endure this much? But Liu Li sees more than just indifference. You can't fool me, he sneers. The sack containing your anger has grown quite a bit again. A vast, shadowy sack looms over Chang Mo's kneeling form. Liu Li decides to draw out the torture, gloating that he hasn't even told Chang Mo that he's the one who killed his mother. He wants to see just how long his victim can hold out. Finally, kneeling amidst the ashes of his colleagues, Chang Mo admits the truth to himself. I know, I'm not as calm as I appear. He reflects on his life, a constant barrage of provocations from sick colleagues and aggressive strangers. He confesses his inner turmoil, the constant, violent desire to erupt and tear them apart, a desire he always suppresses. He holds back because he understands. The emotional illness means their irritability isn't intentional. He always remembers the remorse and regret on their faces after their outbursts. Because that was his mother's face, apologetically crying after every time she got angry. That memory is the anchor for his empathy and the reason for his impossible self-control. His entire life has been built on a single belief. Losing rationality to emotion only leads to regret. So he has constantly restrained himself, clinging to logic as his shield. That's how it should have been. But now, facing the man who destroyed his life, standing on the ashes of his friends, he questions everything. In this moment, does he still need to remain rational? A lifetime of suppressed rage boils to the surface. His inner voice screams for vengeance, to turn into an angry monster, to tear Liu Li apart, to finally avenge his mom. He clenches his fist, ready to give in to the hatred. It would feel good. But as the rage peaks, he feels nothing. Why isn't it happening? Confused, he turns to Yi Li. Why am I still not transforming even though I'm very angry? He asks, his body betraying his rage. Yi Li warns him that transforming means death. But Chang Mo scoffs at the logic. He's dead either way. He might as well go crazy and fight. With a grim expression, Yi Li tells him that this might be hard for him to accept. But as he is now, it is absolutely impossible for him to transform. Staring at the man who ruined his life, Chang Mo can only ask one question. Why? Liu Li mocks his confusion. Heh, still talking to yourself, huh? Are you still trying to persuade yourself? Losing his patience, Liu Li launches a fiery attack. Looks like I'll have to teach you a lesson. As the attack flies toward him, Liu Li's words echo in his mind, triggering a sudden, shocking realization. Talking to myself. His eyes snap open with understanding. All this time, he wasn't talking to himself. He was talking to asterisk her asterisk. He slowly turns to look at the woman beside him. It's no longer his colleague Yi Li, but a being glowing with a mysterious aura. She is surrounded by an ethereal blue energy, her human facade melting away. A sly, knowing smile spreads across her lips. You finally figured it out, she says, her voice dripping with amusement. All right, I won't tease you anymore. Her face transforms, revealing glowing blue eyes and strange markings. She reveals the first part of the final truth. Actually, from the very beginning, only you could see me. Chang Mo stares, stunned, her face. It's completely different, she was never human. Liu Li's fiery attack closes in, about to incinerate him. As the flames roar, the being that was once Yi Li begins to explain the real reason why he can't transform. Liu Li's attack stops dead in its tracks. Even he is shocked into silence by what he sees. Looming behind Chang Mo is a colossal, crystalline monster, bound in chains. Yi Li delivers the final, chapter-defining revelation. It's because from the moment you saw me, you were already infected by me, and your own emotional monster is an emotional monster named rationality. Continuing from the last chapter, a massive, armored blue being bound in chains materializes. It has a black hole for a face, radiating immense power. Below, the antagonist, Liu Jia, can only stare up in shock. Liu Jia is terrified. He mentally catalogs the creature's features: chains, restraints, a black hole-like face. He realizes this is an emotional monster unlike any he has ever seen before. The scene shifts to the protagonist, Chang Mo, who is kneeling amidst hanging chains in this strange mental space. He wonders if this colossal being is his own emotional monster, which he identifies as rationality. He questions how something like rationality can even be considered an emotion. Still trying to process this revelation, Chang Mo questions why he was unable to see his own emotional monster until now, pondering if he had been infected and transformed a long time ago without realizing it. A mysterious woman with long, dark hair that bleeds into a glowing blue appears before him. This is Yi Li. Chang Mo, still reeling, asks who she is. She coolly replies that she expects he has a lot of questions. Yi Li begins her explanation, stating that she cannot clarify everything at once. For now, the most important thing he needs to know is that his emotional monster, rationality, is the most special emotion of all. Yi Li continues, explaining that rationality holds the power to suppress all other emotions, including the anger emotion that fuels Liu Jia's monster. She adds that the reason he couldn't see his monster before is based on a very simple principle. In a close-up, Yi Li's glowing blue eyes stare intently as she reveals the principle with a cryptic statement. You can only see once you know. The scene cuts back to a tearful Liu Jia, who now understands the truth. He realizes Chang Mo isn't a slave to his monster. He has become a being that can control it, an emotion body just like him. An extreme close-up shows Liu Jia's mouth wide open as he screams in frustration and disbelief. Enraged, Liu Jia unleashes his own power. He summons his emotional monster, a colossal, fiery beast born of pure anger, and yells that a newly transformed monster is no match for him. The two emotional monsters face off. On one side, Chang Mo's cool, blue, and armored rationality. On the other, Liu Jia's blazing red and chaotic anger. Liu Jia's anger monster lunges forward, attempting to bite down and consume the rationality monster. But the attack is futile. The fiery jaws pass straight through the blue form. Liu Jia looks on in complete shock, realizing his attack missed entirely. Chang Mo and Yi Li observe the scene. Yi Li calmly explains what's happening. Since Chang Mo cannot yet fully control his emotional monster, it has not yet begun to truly interfere with the physical world. She clarifies that, for now, his emotional monster is more like a projection into this space. It isn't truly here in a physical sense. A sinister grin spreads across Liu Jia's face as he puts the pieces together. He now knows that Chang Mo can't truly control his monster and that its existence is still confined to the mind realm. Believing he's found a loophole, Liu Jia redirects his anger monster not at Chang Mo's monster, but at Chang Mo himself, screaming, "You're dead." Chang Mo remains perfectly calm, his expression unreadable behind his glasses, as the monstrous incarnation of rage rushes towards him. The giant, fiery monster attempts to swallow Chang Mo whole, its burning jaws closing in on him. The panel shows 2 moments of Liu Jia's reaction. First, a confident smirk as his monster attacks, which instantly turns into a look of wide-eyed shock as he sees the result. The attack is useless. Chang Mo stands completely still and unharmed as the monster's teeth clamp down on empty air around him. In an extreme close-up of his eye, Liu Jia's disbelief is palpable. He cannot comprehend what just happened, thinking, "Can't bite through? How is that possible?" Li explains the outcome to a thoughtful Chang Mo because he has spent his life restraining his own anger. His rationality has developed an extremely high resistance to that emotion. To him, Liu Jia's ferocious attack was no different from a mere tickle. Chang Mo absorbs this, understanding the unique nature of his defense. Having his ultimate attack brushed aside so easily leaves Liu Jia completely humiliated. Consumed by fury, he screams at the unfazed Chang Mo, "Bastard, don't get cocky," refusing to accept this reality. Liu Jia, refusing to accept defeat, commands his anger monster to strike again with a furious roar. As the monster's attack envelops him, Chang Mo calmly assesses his situation. He realizes that while Liu Jia's power can't hurt him, he can't control his own monster yet, leaving him a passive target. Li interjects with a simple solution. He must let his emotional monster lend him its power. Li's voice echoes as the concept clicks in Chang Mo's mind. Now that he is aware that he can borrow power from an emotional monster, the ability is unlocked for him. A glimmer of understanding shines in his eye as he thinks, "I see." With his newfound understanding, Chang Mo moves. He effortlessly dodges the monster's lunge and calmly places 2 fingers on its head, sending a shockwave through its form. Liu Jia watches with a furious and bewildered expression, unable to comprehend what Chang Mo is doing. The moment Chang Mo's fingers make contact, the massive anger monster erupts, shattering into a torrent of red and blue energy. Blown off his feet by the force of the explosion, Liu Jia is sent flying. He can only stare in utter disbelief, stammering, "How is it possible?" As the chaotic energy subsides, a lone silhouette stands firm in the epicenter of the blast. It is Chang Mo, completely unharmed. Chang Mo emerges from the dissipating smoke, a new power emanating from him. His hand now glows with blue energy, forming a sharp crystalline blade. A close-up reveals the intricate weapon that has materialized around his hand and forearm, a blade of pure, solidified rationality. Staring at the crystalline weapon, Liu Jia finally understands the impossible event he just witnessed. He screams in terror, "I get it. He borrowed power from his emotional monster." On his hands and knees, utterly defeated, Liu Jia processes the totality of his loss. His mind is reeling from the fact that his powerful emotional monster was destroyed with just 2 fingers. With Chang Mo's terrifying rationality monster looming behind him, Liu Jia's thoughts descend into pure panic. He cannot accept that a newly transformed emotion body could be so powerful. His only instinct is to flee. "Run, as long as I can escape. Run." But Chang Mo has no intention of letting him go. He takes a single, powerful step, cracking the very floor beneath his feet as he prepares to give chase. Chang Mo launches himself forward with explosive speed, leaving a crater in his wake as he leaps after the fleeing Liu Jia. Liu Jia glances back over his shoulder, his face a mask of terror as he sees Chang Mo closing the distance in an instant. The two become streaks of light, one red and one blue, as they race through a chaotic, exploding landscape. Chang Mo's voice taunts Liu Jia, "Rushing so fast. Are you in a hurry to be reincarnated?" Chang Mo easily keeps pace with the escaping Liu Jia, dodging debris while casually warning his opponent, "Ah, be careful." As they race, Chang Mo asks Li why Liu Jia can still use fire abilities when his monster was destroyed. Li explains that emotional monsters don't die so easily. It has simply been removed from this world temporarily. Their chase leads them bursting through a set of doors, transitioning from the dark, chaotic mind realm to a brightly lit, modern corridor. The two continue their pursuit across a polished outdoor deck, revealing they have emerged into the real world. The camera pans out, revealing the chase is taking place on the lavish upper deck of a massive cruise ship sailing at night. A grand, sweeping shot reveals the full vessel, the world-class cruise ship known as the Emperor of the Sea. The high-speed chase concludes as they land upon the deck of a massive vessel. A wide shot reveals their new battleground, the Emperor of the Sea, a world-class cruise ship sailing majestically offshore from the glittering lights of Donghai City. As Chang Mo prepares to continue the pursuit across the luxurious deck, Yili appears beside him with an urgent warning. She tells him that chasing an emotion body here on this specific cruise ship is an extremely dangerous act. Focused on his quarry, Chang Mo asks the crucial question, why? Yili begins to explain the gravity of the situation. She states that according to public information, the Emperor of the Sea is a world-renowned cruise ship with global roots, and it is currently docked in Donghai as a popular vacation spot. She continues, noting that ever since Donghai's waters were polluted, the Emperor of the Sea is one of the few cruise ships permitted to enter. She adds a sarcastic remark about how extravagant Chang Mo's company, SkyArt Group, must be to hold an art department gathering here. Then she reveals the ship's dark secret, but this ship is actually controlled by emotion bodies. As she speaks, a massive, spectral monster with glowing eyes manifests behind the ship, symbolizing the hidden power that truly governs it. Yili elaborates that the ship is a neutral ground where emotion bodies conduct illicit transactions. It also provides various services to meet their depraved needs, and one of those services is the hunting of ordinary people. Therefore, attacking another emotion body on this ship is a direct challenge to its powerful owners. To make matters worse, she reveals that Liu Jia is a super VIP here. Chang Mo asks just how strong the ship's security force is. To illustrate the overwhelming power difference, Yili gives a chilling analogy as an image of a giant finger hovers over a tiny ant. She states that a single pinky finger from the ship's forces could effortlessly crush him. Chang Mo falls silent, his expression hardening as he processes the incredible danger he is in. Despite the warning, Chang Mo's resolve doesn't waver. He reasons that if he doesn't kill Liu Jia now, he won't get another chance and will eventually fall to his revenge. Yili confirms his logic is sound, and he leaps forward to continue the pursuit. The scene shifts to the opulent Emperor of the Sea VIP lounge. Here, a group of powerful and influential emotion bodies are gathered. In the center of their meeting is a disturbing statue of a woman, seemingly screaming. A man introduces the horrifying work of art. He explains that it was made from a real girl, the daughter of a country's prime minister. After she died, her skin was peeled back to reveal her skeleton, which seems to be laughing, creating a powerful impact. The use of a real, important person is what makes it special. The man presenting this grotesque gift is identified as Victor Lee, from the Wilderness International Consortium. He offers the statue as a token of appreciation for facilitating cooperation. The captain of the ship, a formidable man with a thick beard named Liu Yang, compliments Victor's generosity. He notes that Victor's company has just taken over a new market and is already sending the prime minister's daughter as a gift. A stylish woman in a large white hat and sunglasses, Anna Crease of the Ugly Duckling Self-Help Association, remarks on the creativity of the punishment, nodding she'd heard the prime minister was unwilling to cooperate. Another woman, Song Hui of the Great Zia Song family, adds that the artwork is truly tasteful. She coldly states that the girl should be honored to be transformed into such a piece. An older man smoking a cigarette, Bishop Zhao Yan of the heretical cult, curiously asks Victor if his consortium has already set its sights on the domain of Great Zia. Victor Lee stands and addresses the group, speaking of fierce competition among conglomerates and asking for their cooperation in his plans regarding Great Zia. An assistant interrupts, reporting to Captain Liu Yang that Liu Li, also known as Liu Jia, has killed the art director of SkyArt Group as planned. However, there was a hiccup. His prey successfully transformed and is now violently beating him. Song Hui scoffs at the news, calling Liu Li a waste. She comments that if he wasn't a follower of that sir, his rank would never have qualified him to hunt freely on the ship in the first place. Her interest piqued, Song Hui asks Victor who this mysterious sir is that they all speak of. Victor smoothly deflects the question, suggesting that for the sake of smooth cooperation, it's better to inquire less about each other. Captain Liu Yang considers the situation. He remarks that the ability to defeat Liu Li right after transforming shows impressive talent. He decides that while Liu Li is just a pawn, they must save him to maintain face for that, sir. The captain issues his orders. The area is to be sealed off from other emotion bodies and ordinary people. As for the unknown emotion body fighting Liu Li, he assumes it has no background and orders it to be killed directly. His subordinate acknowledges the command. The scene cuts to a quiet shot of the ship's exterior at night. The order has been given, and somewhere on this vessel, an execution is about to be carried out. Back on the deck, the chase has ended. Chang Mo has caught up to Liu Jia, landing a powerful punch directly to his face. The chase comes to a brutal end. With a final, decisive blow, Chang Mo sends Liu Jia crashing onto the deck, leaving him splayed out and at his mercy. Wasting no time, Chang Mo closes in, pinning the defeated Liu Jia to the ground with his foot. He looms over his foe, the crystalline blade on his hand glowing menacingly, and delivers the final verdict. Your time to die has come. Held at blade point, Liu Jia stares up in terror and disbelief. He screams at Chang Mo, questioning his sanity for trying to kill him on the Emperor of the Sea. Chang Mo remains emotionless. With his glowing blue blade poised to strike, he coldly confirms Liu Jia's fears. That's right. Realizing his threats are useless, Liu Jia's demeanor instantly shifts to pathetic begging. He pleads for his life, admitting he was wrong and promising to agree to anything. As Chang Mo's blade descends, Liu Jia plays his final, desperate card. He screams that he knows who killed Chang Mo's mother, threatening that the secret will die with him if Chang Mo follows through. The words hit their mark. Chang Mo freezes, his hand stopping midair, the blade hovering just inches from Liu Jia's face. The thirst for vengeance for his mother's death overrides all else. Chang Mo presses the tip of his crystalline blade against Liu Jia's forehead, the cold threat undeniable as he prepares to extract the information. Chang Mo grabs Liu Jia by the collar, a dark energy seemingly causing him to scream in agony as Chang Mo demands the truth. Chang Mo asks the question that has haunted him. Wasn't it you who killed my mother? Liu Jia quickly denies it and begins to explain. He recounts that at that time, another, more powerful emotion body was active in their old neighborhood, secretly spreading his virus and hunting newly born monsters. In a flashback, Liu Jia explains his origin. He was infected by this mysterious, silhouetted figure and transformed into an emotional monster. But instead of killing him, the powerful being stabilized his condition and forced Liu Jia to become his subordinate. He continues his tale of servitude, revealing that this powerful sir forced him to infect other ordinary people, turning them into monsters. Then he was forced to kill them. The flashback shows the sinister silhouette of the sir, reaping the rewards of Liu Jia's work, seizing the emotional power from the newly created monsters to strengthen himself. Back in the present, Chang Mo's expression is grim. He demands to know the identity and current whereabouts of this mysterious figure. Liu Jia breaks into a crazed, mocking laugh. He taunts Chang Mo, revealing that this person is now a highly respected big shot. He warns Chang Mo that if he dies, this powerful sir will surely kill Chang Mo in retaliation. He begins to speak the name. He is. But before he can finish, his face twists in absolute terror. He realizes he cannot speak the name, stammering that if he says it, "That, sir," won't let me go. Chang Mo's patience runs out. Hearing Liu Jia's refusal, he declares, "Then die," and raises his blade to deliver the final blow. Suddenly, a disembodied voice echoes from nowhere, speaking with chilling authority. It is the voice of the mysterious sir, issuing a remote command directly to Chang Mo. "I command your heart to stop beating." An unseen force strikes Chang Mo in X-ray view, reveals his heart being violently constricted, ceasing its beat under the powerful command. Chang Mo gasps and collapses, clutching his chest as the life-or-death struggle begins within him. He falls to his knees, his body racked with pain as he fights against the remote attack. A foot steps firmly onto the deck. Someone has arrived on the scene, finding both Chang Mo and Liu Jia recovering from their respective ordeals. It's Captain Liu Yang's assistant, the security chief of the ship. He approaches Liu Jia and bows apologetically, saying, "Sir, I apologize, I'm late." Liu Jia, surprised by the formal address, asks if the man knows him. The security chief confirms his identity as a VIP, stating that the Emperor of the Sea will do its best to serve him. With his status confirmed and backup having arrived, Liu Jia turns to the weakened Chang Mo with a sinister, triumphant grin. Feeling emboldened, he grinds the tip of his shoe into Chang Mo's head and curses. "You think you're so tough, huh? Didn't you want to kill me? Come on, kill me." Meanwhile, Chang Mo was gradually recovering from the butler's attack. But the moment he saw him move, the coward scrambled behind the butler, letting out a terrified yelp. The ship's security chief looks down at Chang Mo with a surprised expression, nodding that he didn't die from the attack. Chang Mo, still recovering on the deck, looks at his trembling hand and wonders what just happened to him. Yi Li materializes beside him to provide an explanation. She identifies the power that struck him as belonging to an arrogance-type emotional body which possesses the ability of command. She clarifies that this mysterious, "Sir," issued a direct command for his heart to stop beating. Chang Mo is stunned by the terrifying implications of such an ability. "That exaggerated?" he asks, questioning if a power like that would make its user completely invincible. Yi Li explains the concept of power hierarchy. The Sir's emotional body rank is 2 major tiers higher than Chang Mo's, which is why he was powerless to defy the command. She emphasizes that if he weren't a rationality emotion body with its inherent resistance to all emotions, he would already be dead. The chapter ends as Chang Mo looks up at the figures before him, his mind fixated on the mysterious Sir. He comes to a grim realization. The man who killed his mother is an opponent that, in his current state, he absolutely cannot defeat. On a spacious deck under a starry night sky, Chang Mo stands facing 3 individuals. To his right is the enigmatic Yi Li, and before them stand 2 men in suits, one of whom is the arrogant man who has been a thorn in his side, along with his subordinate. Chang Mo asks Yi Li if that butler is an emotion being, wondering why he can't see his emotion monster. She explains that his monster must be deep within the mind realm, the primary dwelling place of emotion monsters. He confirms, asking if it's just like her situation. She elaborates with a diagram, showing that before, his emotion monster was on the boundary between reality and the mind realm, which is why it was visible to others. The diagram continues, illustrating that once an emotion monster goes deep into the mind realm, it becomes difficult for anyone to observe it. Across the deck, the anger user smirks, remarking that this kid Chang Mo seems to have 9 lives. He then coldly orders his subordinate to eliminate him, and the man immediately obeys. The subordinate's eyes glow as he issues a powerful command directly at Chang Mo. "I command you to kneel." An immense pressure forces Chang Mo down onto one knee, his body acting against his will. He grits his teeth, shocked that he is completely unable to resist the command. Yi Li explains that this is a characteristic of the arrogance emotion being's command. The less harm the command does, and the greater the level difference between the user and the target, the harder it is to disobey. Liu Jia confidently strides towards the kneeling Chang Mo. He steps forward and strikes him on the head, an act of pure humiliation. Chang Mo looks up, his face etched with defiance despite the pain and disgrace, his glasses glowing faintly. Liu Jia begins to provoke him, mocking his desire for vengeance and threatening his mother, declaring that as emotion beings, they can do whatever they please to a mere commoner. Then, he offers to tell Chang Mo a story as repayment. "Let me tell you about the day your mother transformed." The words hit Chang Mo, whose eyes widen in shock and horror. The villain reminisces, describing how Chang Mo's mother was having a rare lucid day, not controlled by her emotions. She had gone shopping and was cooking his favorite dish, tomato and brisket stew, specifically to apologize to him. With a cruel sense of pity, he describes how it all ended in tragedy, with blood splattered everywhere and the stew ruined. He reveals the shocking truth. Chang Mo's mother was targeted simply because of a casual, cruel remark from a powerful figure, a lord, who suggested they prey on the single mother next door. The arrogance user confesses that at first, he strongly objected. He remembers how kind Chang Mo's mother was to him back when he was poor, even bringing him food. But his perspective twisted. As he watched her lose her temper and saw Chang Mo fall from happiness into an abyss of despair, he slowly began to enjoy the feeling. His face contorts with manic glee as he shouts that he loves the feeling of dominating others' lives and stripping away their happiness. He boasts that if he wanted her to become an emotion monster or food, she had no choice. Pushing himself up from the ground, Chang Mo now stands, facing his tormentor. In his hand, he manifests a sharp, crystalline blue blade, ready for revenge. But immediately, the butler places a command on Chang Mo's body. "I command you to cease all movement." His power takes effect, freezing him in place. Chang Mo only has time to look towards him with a gaze full of surprise. Immediately after, his voice echoed with absolute authority as he continued to issue a humiliating command. "I command you to kneel and kowtow." Completely unable to resist the overwhelming power, Chang Mo's body is forced to slam his face into the deck with a sickening thud. Chang Mo remains in a kowtowing position, utterly subdued by the command. Liu Jia looks down on him with contempt, telling his subordinate that he wants Chang Mo to do something. The butler agrees immediately, replying, "Yes, Lord." He gives Chang Mo one chance to swear allegiance and become his dog. With a twisted, gleeful expression, he gives the humiliating order, "Bark twice and live." The ultimatum hangs in the air, with the final choice being made crystal clear: obey or die. As the two villains watch, Chang Mo remains frozen in his subservient posture, the glow of the command still active. Yili kneels beside the subjugated Chang Mo, asking him what the plan is now. Chang Mo, still facing the floor, retorts by asking what her plan is. He questions her, stating that she's the one who made him an emotion monster, and seems to know everything about him, Liu Jia, and the ship. Believing she must have anticipated this situation, he resigns himself to his fate, telling her to state her terms and that he will accept them all. Losing patience, the Liu Jia user shouts "bark" and stomps his foot down on the back of Chang Mo's head, forcing it to the ground again. A faint, knowing smile appears on Yi Li's lips. She has been waiting for this moment of complete submission. A massive torrent of her dark blue energy erupts from her as she makes her offer. All he has to do is be willing to accept her power. As Yi Li's power flows into him, a massive explosion of light blue energy erupts from Chang Mo, sending the two villains flying. Chang Mo is lifted into the air, his body awash in the raw, untamed power that now floods his system. He screams in agony and ecstasy as the power surges through him, his glasses shattering from the sheer force. The transformation intensifies as sharp, blue crystals burst from his forehead, a physical manifestation of his newly awakened power. Liu Jia and the butler watch in terror. They are shocked by the sudden turn of events, realizing his emotional power is rising rapidly and that he has completely lost control. Chang Mo finds himself standing in a serene, ethereal space, a stark contrast to the chaos of the real world. He floats in the middle of a beautiful cosmic nebula. This is his inner world, his mind realm. He looks around and realizes something profound has changed. He can no longer feel sadness, happiness, surprise, or excitement. All his emotions have disappeared. In this realm of pure thought, he feels as if everything is just calculation. Above him, a colossal, shadowy figure begins to form, dwarfing him completely. His eye is cold and clear, reflecting the pure, emotionless state of his transformed mind. From his body, countless blue crystal shards float upwards, coalescing into a massive, powerful form above him. A memory flashes through his mind. A happier time, both of them shocked and excited while playing video games together. Another memory surfaces, a peaceful moment of him and his mother lying on the floor, quietly drawing together, surrounded by crayons and sunlight. The memories continue, showing the mother and son happily playing together while shopping. The bittersweet memories continue. In one, his mother playfully flexes her muscle, making him gasp in awe, a strong, vibrant woman. But sorrow was never far. At his father's funeral, she holds her crying son, a pillar of strength for him even in her own grief. After his father's death, young Chang Mo is often seen alone, withdrawn and lost in his own sadness. His mother would always be there to gently pat his head, a silent promise that she would always protect him. She would smile and flex again, reassuring him that she was strong enough for both of them. But the illness took hold. The memories turned dark, showing her in a fit of rage, her emotions spiraling out of control as she smashes everything around her. In a moment of clarity after an outburst, she holds her terrified son, her face streaked with tears of regret for the pain she caused. But the rage would always return, her face contorted in fury as she screamed at the young boy. The memories become a horrifying blur of violence as she raises a whip against her own child. And after the storm of her anger passed, she would collapse in shame and sorrow, while her son, despite his fear, would try to comfort her. The flashback reaches its horrific conclusion, the final image burned into his mind. His mother's lifeless body on the kitchen floor, the pot of stew spilled beside her, just as the villain had described. Then the image of Liu Jia appears in his mind, grinning broadly with pure, sadistic pleasure, his eyes glowing as he relishes the pain he has just stirred up. Back in the mysterious space, a crack appears on the lens of Chang Mo's glasses. His restraint is shattering. Through the cracked glass, his eye is no longer the calm brown of a rational man, but a blazing, furious yellow filled with untold rage. With a final, sharp crack, his glasses, the symbol of his carefully maintained control and rationality, shatter completely. Chang Mo now looks up, his face bare and his eyes burning with a newfound, terrifying power. The boy has been replaced by an avenger. Inside their shared mindscape, Yili explains that the immense anger he had stored up is what allowed him to maintain his sense of self after accepting her power. She imparts a critical piece of wisdom. To truly wield the power of rationality, he must be willing to abandon rationality itself at crucial moments. It is a paradox he must master. With a seductive smile, she warns him that if he fails, he'll lose control and become an emotion monster of pure rationality. Then she sets him loose. Now, enjoy your revenge. He embraces his power, a crown of blue energy crystals forming over his head as he prepares to unleash his fury. Back on the deck, an enormous pillar of blue, fiery energy erupts from Chang Mo, a beacon of his awakened power that stuns the two villains. The energy recedes, leaving a transformed Chang Mo standing calmly in the center, a few crystalline fragments of his power floating around him. The Liu Jia user laughs in confusion, mocking what he perceives as a failure. What the heck? His emotional power just disappeared all of a sudden. I thought he was so powerful. But his subordinate, whose face is pale with terror, begins to stammer. He can feel a crushing pressure that his arrogant boss cannot. No, it's not. He asserts that Chang Mo's emotional power has not disappeared. From high above, a stream of deep blue power is gradually enveloping the ship. He realizes the horrifying truth. The emotional power hasn't disappeared. It has ascended to a level so far beyond them that they can no longer perceive it. As the colossal entity of pure rationality manifests, it releases a silent, overwhelming shockwave of power that expands across the entire ship. Elsewhere on the ship, the powerful shockwave ripples through a lavish party, the music stopping as the immense pressure is felt by all. The partygoers are thrown to the floor, their bodies unable to withstand the sudden, overwhelming force that has washed over the vessel. One of the guests looks up in sheer terror, his face pale as he stammers, "This? What kind of power is this?" In an elegant restaurant on board, a man dines alone, the city lights twinkling outside. As he cuts into his steak, the plate beneath it suddenly cracks, a sign of the immense power being unleashed nearby. He looks up in shock, recognizing the signature of a world-class emotion body. He wonders if someone is foolish enough to wage war against the Sea Emperor. Or perhaps, he muses, they are targeting the entire syndicate that the Sea Emperor leads. In a private lounge, the heads of the syndicate, a group of powerful and influential figures, all feel the disturbance. One of them, a man with long hair and a goatee, rises to his feet, his expression grim and serious. A stylish woman in a large hat and sunglasses coolly takes a drag from her cigarette, wondering aloud if another world-class individual has appeared. Another associate, a blond man with a scar on his face, worriedly asks if this new power is coming for them. A woman with sharp eyes speculates that it could be a helper for the one who defeated Liu Jia, and that their target is the Sea Emperor himself. From the head of the room, a commanding figure in a cape looks out at the night sky, telling everyone not to worry. This is the Sea Emperor, Liu Yang. With absolute confidence, he declares that no matter who comes, as long as they dare to offend him, even a world-class individual will die. Back on the deck, the atmosphere is heavy. Chang Mo stands transformed while the two villains stare, the air thick with an unseen power. The Liu Jia user is in frantic denial, screaming, "His level! We can no longer perceive it. How is that possible? Are you kidding me?" Just him. The subordinate, sweating and trembling, confirms the impossible truth. "For you, it's imperceptible, but I can vaguely see it." He describes the feeling, an overwhelming pressure from the highest point, a world-class pressure like that of the great figures they serve. A true disaster. His composure finally shatters and he screams at his master, "Hurry and leave." But it's far too late. Chang Mo appears before them in an instant, gripping both of their heads in his hands and lifting them off the ground with ease. With a casual, merciless motion, he dispatches them, their lifeless bodies crumpling to the deck. His first act of revenge is complete. Yili appears by his side, remarking on how surprisingly easy it was. She playfully asks if twisting their heads off immediately wasn't a bit much. Chang Mo, his yellow eyes cold and devoid of emotion, replies, "Indeed, it wasn't done well enough. I should have slowly tortured him to death." Yi Li smiles, pleased by his embrace of this ruthless logic. With his initial revenge complete, Chang Mo's cold gaze falls upon the very structure of the ship itself. "But don't rush," he says, his voice devoid of emotion. "The real show is just beginning." He stomps his foot, and the deck beneath him responds, revealing its true nature. A vast network of golden energy, like glowing veins, spreads out from his foot, exposing the ship as a living, breathing emotion body. The yellow energy spreads across the ship, revealing itself as a network of powerful tendrils emanating from the ship's superstructure, which Chang Mo now confronts. The tendrils converge on a colossal figure seated on a throne, a majestic, golden emotion body of immense power. This is the true form of the ship's master. Chang Mo looks up at the magnificent and terrifying sight, his expression unreadable as he murmurs, "This is." Yi Li explains the strange phenomenon. She reminds him that a previous battle took place on the ship, yet it sustained no damage. This is because the ship itself is an emotion body, and this is its true face. She continues, revealing that in this world of emotional power, perception is tied to strength. The Sea Emperor's golden entity faces off against Chang Mo's own colossal, blue crystalline monster. It's only by borrowing her power that he can even begin to see the world as it truly is. With the veil lifted, the Sea Emperor Liu Yang stands before his magnificent emotion body, looking down upon the intruder with absolute authority. From his throne of power, Liu Yang's emotion body extends its golden, lightning-like tendrils across the entire deck, asserting its total dominance over the space. Liu Yang addresses Chang Mo directly, his voice dripping with arrogance. "So you are that world-class individual who doesn't know their place," he sneers. "Prepare to die." He begins to chant, his voice booming with power. "Within the universe between the lands, any offense shall be punished." The chant continues, laying down the law of his domain. "All things submit, listening to my command. Any transgression shall cost blood." As Liu Yang chants, his power swells, the air crackling with golden energy. Chang Mo realizes that his opponent and the emotion monster are chanting simultaneously. The strategy becomes clear to Chang Mo. I understand. He can increase the power of his commands through chanting. In response, Chang Mo's own titanic emotion monster issues a command of its own, its voice echoing across the dimensions. "By my decree, space around the invader solidify." A massive cube of shimmering golden energy instantly forms around Liu Yang and his throne-like monster, trapping them within a prison of solidified space. Undeterred, Liu Yang continues his chant, unleashing his attack. "With a golden sword, I inflict punishment." He layers another, more devastating command on top of his attack. "By my decree, within the solidified space, all emotional power is halted." He intends not just to break free, but to nullify Chang Mo's power completely. Countless golden swords manifest and slam into the prison, attempting to shatter it from within while the power-halting command takes effect. Liu Yang scoffs, confident in his victory. "HMPH, overestimating yourself?" he says, believing the fight is already over. Watching from the lounge, the syndicate members agree. They remark that the victor was decided quickly, criticizing the newcomer's shallow experience for allowing Liu Yang to complete such a long chant. They note that they've never seen an emotional monster like Chang Mo's before, but are convinced that with its power halved by the Sea Emperor's command, it stands no chance of turning the tables. They conclude that capturing him alive is now just a matter of time for their captain. Suddenly, a crack appears on the surface of the golden prison, but it's not from the outside assault. Something is wrong. The syndicate members look on in stunned silence, their confident expressions vanishing. Even the Sea Emperor Liu Yang can't hide his shock. His ultimate technique is failing. With a deafening crash, the golden prison shatters, not from Liu Yang's power, but from the raw, unstoppable force of Chang Mo's monster breaking out from within. His power was never halted. Free from its prison, Chang Mo's colossal monster of rationality reveals its full power. It effortlessly shatters the golden tendrils of the Sea Emperor's power that had enveloped the ship, the chains that once bound it breaking away. His eyes glowing with cold, calculated fury, Chang Mo looks upon his enemy. Chang Mo falls silent for a moment, then slowly raises his hand high, as if preparing for a command. On the deck, his emotion monster remains hovering, its surging energy currents creating a terrifying atmosphere that oppresses everything. His hand, which was raised to issue the command, falls limp. The judgment has been passed. His emotion monster acts, unleashing a final, devastating wave of crystalline blue energy and razor-sharp swords, a tsunami of pure rational power that surges towards the Sea Emperor. Liu Yang, the once invincible Sea Emperor, is caught in the blast. His face is a mask of pure terror and disbelief, as he is utterly consumed by a power that defies all emotion. A massive pillar of blue light erupts from the deck of the ship, a beacon visible for miles, signaling the definitive and overwhelming defeat of the Sea Emperor. The reign of arrogance on this ship has come to a decisive end. Continuing from the last chapter, the battle on the Sea of Consciousness rages on. A massive entity of pure blue energy erupts from the dark waters, signifying the immense power Chang Mo is about to unleash. On the deck of the colossal Emperor of the Sea, the VIP guests observe the chaos they have caused. The ship's captain looks on, water and energy splashing around him. His face is a mask of fury and disbelief at the scene unfolding before him. The sheer force of the released energy is so great that it seems to lift the entire Emperor of the Sea from the water, encasing it in a blinding yellow light. Chang Mo stands firm, his body now a conduit for the raging blue aura. His eyes glow with a menacing yellow light, showing a power that is barely contained. The captain is completely shocked. He mutters to himself, wondering how Chang Mo managed to break free from his emotional shackles. He questions what purpose a monster like him could have for boarding his ship, or worse, for targeting the powerful group he represents. He pauses, his mind racing as he tries to comprehend the sudden turn of events. But his contemplation is short-lived. He scoffs, deciding it doesn't matter what Chang Mo's intentions are. His own method has always been simple and direct: kill any and all who stand in his way. With his mind made up, the captain bellows a command. He summons his elite soldiers, shouting "Guards!" into the chaotic storm. In response to his call, golden-armored warriors, the obstructors, materialize from thin air, surrounding Chang Mo with their sharp spears pointed directly at him. But the guards are no match for the raw power Chang Mo now wields. His emotional entity effortlessly deflects their attacks, the golden spears rendered useless against the storm of blue energy. At the core of the entity, a black hole of pure emotional void pulses, drawing in all light and energy. The entity strikes back, a whirlwind of destructive force that tears through the ranks of the golden obstructors. Chang Mo's focus is absolute, his glowing eyes tracking the futile assault of the guards as he controls the entity's every move. Seeing his elite guards being overwhelmed, the captain's strategy shifts. He realizes this power is too valuable to destroy. He screams, "Stop!" hopping to capture Chang Mo alive. For a moment, it seems the attack might find its mark, as Chang Mo's human form is exposed. The obstructors obey their master's original command, their spears converging on Chang Mo and piercing his body from all sides. But no one expected this. The golden spears couldn't even inflict a scratch on Chang Mo's body. As the spears gradually disintegrated, Chang Mo's expression remained unflinching. His glowing eyes burned with unyielding intensity, showing that the battle was far from over. With a surge of power, he shatters the golden spears, breaking free from the trap and sending fragments of the weapons flying in all directions. Chang Mo stands defiantly amidst the wreckage of the defeated guards. His body seems empowered by a myriad of forces, making those magical defenders look like nothing more than toy soldiers. The captain can only scream in rage and frustration, his plan to either kill or capture the boy completely ruined. The captain can only stare up in horror as Chang Mo's emotional entity gathers its power, coalescing into a colossal weapon of pure energy that looms over the entire ship. In the reflection of his terrified eye, the monstrous blade takes shape. He now understands the true nature of his opponent, not a man but a force of nature, a true monster of the emotional sea. Chang Mo's entity manifests a colossal blade of pure energy, bringing it down upon the captain with immense force, cleaving the very space around them. The shockwave sends the captain flying towards Chang Mo. A chain, once part of the entity's bindings, whips through the air near Chang Mo. Though overwhelmed, the captain's expression hardens. He grits his teeth, refusing to be defeated by this unknown power. A strange transformation begins on Chang Mo. His fingers start to crystallize into a sharp, blue, claw-like form, a new manifestation of his power. The captain summons his golden constructs once more, forming a defensive wall of spears to block the incoming assault. Chang Mo reaches towards the black hole at the center of his entity, drawing upon its void-like power to fuel his next attack. His newly formed crystal claws easily tear through the captain's golden defenses, shattering the constructs with a deafening crash. The golden spears prove completely ineffective as the vortex of blue energy, and the black hole simply deflects and consumes them. The battle descends into a chaotic free-for-all, with Chang Mo and the captain at the epicenter of a storm of gold and blue energy. In a final display of his authority, the captain manifests a throne of golden power, looking down on Chang Mo and his entity, but it's a hollow gesture against such overwhelming force. But the immense power comes at a cost. Chang Mo begins to falter, breathing heavily as the strain of maintaining the entity takes its toll. The captain immediately senses the shift in power. A smirk spreads across his face as he realizes, this kid's power has weakened, I can win. His plan changes instantly. He notes that escape is difficult on the open sea, giving him a perfect chance to capture Chang Mo alive. Capturing this emotional monster would be a great service to his mysterious organization. Just then Yi Li intervenes. She tells Chang Mo that her own power is nearly exhausted. When he asks what to do, her answer is simple and pragmatic. We run. Wasting no time, Yi Li urges him to flee. Chang Mo grabs the nearby chain and begins to swing away from the fight. As he runs towards the edge of the ship, Yi Li gives him a final, desperate instruction. Jump into the sea. The captain watches in disbelief, utterly confused. Is this kid crazy? Why is he running in that direction? Following Yi Li's command, Chang Mo leaps from the Emperor of the Sea, plunging into the dark, churning waters of the Black Sea below. The cold shock of the water hits him, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and confusion as he sinks into the abyss. As he descends, he realizes this is no ordinary ocean. Below him lurks a colossal, shadowy form, the true nature of the Black Sea, a world-class depression emotion body. His eyes widen in sheer terror as he comprehends the horrifying scale of the creature whose domain he has just entered. As he sinks deeper and deeper, his perception begins to warp, and a horrifying truth about his world starts to dawn on him. He is shown a vision of his home, Donghai City, not as he knows it, but as a twisted landscape dominated by a monstrous entity in the sky, the emotion body known as envy. The vision continues, revealing that the entire world is a wasteland where shadowy hands, manifestations of despair, reach up from the barren ground. The reality he knew was a lie. Looking up from the city streets, the sky is a terrifying vortex of fiery energy, with a dark planet-like orb at its center. The world Chang Mo knew is just a fragile shell under a monstrous new reality. The vision zooms out, showing the unfathomable scale of the abyss. This entire dimension, the Black Sea, is a living creature, a vast entity of depression and despair with a black hole for a heart. The horrifying truth begins to sink in. Chang Mo reflects with dawning terror, "All along I thought everyone was sick." But the realization is far worse than that. As blood begins to stream from his eye from the psychic strain, he understands his mistake. He screams in agony as the full weight of the truth crashes down on him. It wasn't just the people. The sea, the city, the land, the sky, everything is sick. The entire world has been consumed by these emotional monstrosities. Back on the ship, the captain watches Chang Mo's body fall limp into the dark ocean, unaware of the mental torment he is experiencing. He then notices the stream of blood coming from Chang Mo's eyes, a detail that makes him recoil in shock. His eyes are bleeding. What in the world is this? Suddenly, all the pieces click into place for the captain. He realizes the truth. I get it. His power is borrowed. His own status is not enough to bear this truth. The kid is just a vessel. Feeling his confidence return, the captain points down at the sinking boy and declares victory, shouting, "Kid, you're dead." But in the depths, Yi Li appears before Chang Mo. She gently tells him to close his eyes, explaining that while her power allowed him a glimpse of the truth, his mind isn't strong enough to handle it yet. With a calm but firm voice, she gives him an order and a promise of salvation. "Now, let me take over your body." As they fall, their forms begin to merge into one. Above the water, the captain prepares his obstructors for a final strike, ready to finish off the boy he now sees as weak. But what rises from the water is not the weakened boy. Chang Mo and Yi Li have fused, a perfect synthesis of human vessel and rational spirit, their expressions calm and radiating immense power. Their combined power erupts, creating a new, far more powerful entity that dwarfs everything seen before. The captain can only stare, his jaw agape, utterly baffled by this sudden and impossible surge of energy. At their command, the Black Sea itself awakens. A pair of glowing cyan eyes open in the deep, signaling that the entire dimension is now under their control. A colossal hand, formed from the very essence of the Black Sea, rises from the depths, ready to smite their enemy. The captain screams in absolute terror, his mind finally breaking as he witnesses the impossible. Black Sea, his emotion monster, can actually control the Black Sea. The giant hand of the depression body crashes down, utterly annihilating the captain, his ship, and his golden army in one swift, catastrophic blow. After the storm has passed, Chang Mo breaks the surface, gasping for air. Yi Li supports him as he coughs up water. She asks if he is all right, and he weakly replies that he is fine. Suddenly, a cracking sound draws his attention. He looks down to see his glasses, a fundamental part of his identity, shattering and dissolving into light. He touches his face, confused and disoriented by the loss. "My glasses." Yi Li calmly explains the phenomenon. The glasses are a subconscious symbol of his rationality. In moments of high emotion, they vanish. When he calms down and his rationality returns, the glasses will reappear. Chang Mo silently processes this information, staring blankly for a moment. Finally, he asks the question that now eclipses everything else. Donghai City and that thing in the sky, what happened to this world? In response to Chang Mo's question, Yi Li begins her explanation. This world has long undergone tremendous changes, but your level prevented you from knowing. She explains the cover story for the state of the world. The news said Donghai was polluted by oil. In reality, what polluted Donghai was an emotion body. She gives him a history lesson. Years ago, a great battle caused a world-class depression emotion body to lose control. It became the black, viscous water they stand on, sinking countless warships. The monstrous face he saw was the true form of this depression. She continues, revealing that the entire world is now controlled by these entities. It's become normal for cities like Donghai to have their own terrifying emotion bodies, just like the captain's ship they just destroyed. She then turns her gaze to the sky, ready to address his final question about the entity looming above. With certainty, she identifies the celestial horror. If I'm not mistaken, that's envy. Chang Mo, his glasses now reappeared as he processes the information, can barely believe it. What are you saying? Yi Li explains his mental block. The concepts are too grand, his soul too weak to bear the truth. If he were to force himself to understand, it would likely shatter his mind. Chang Mo finally puts it all together. He realizes that what the world calls emotional illness is merely the smallest visible symptom of this monstrous reality, just the tip of the iceberg. Yili lays the grim reality of his new life bare. She saved him, but in doing so showed him a truth that means he can never go back. A life of ignorance would have been happier. Now, fighting and danger will follow him like a shadow. She looks at him intently, asking the crucial question. I'm the one who brought you into this vortex, will you hate me? A flash of the recent battle floods his mind. The chaos, the destruction, the power. His answer is completely unexpected. He doesn't feel hatred. Instead, he admits, no, I'm quite grateful to you. I know you have an agenda, but I've never felt so exhilarated before. Looking up at her from the surface of the dark water, he embraces his new reality with a stunning declaration. It's like a new birth. With his mind made up, Chang Mo fully accepts his new path and asks for clarity. So, can you tell me who you really are? What exactly do you want me to do? A slight, knowing smile plays on Yili's lips as she prepares to finally reveal her full story. She begins her tale, floating in an abstract space. I'm just a wandering spirit. For years, she wandered through the city, completely invisible and inaudible to the millions of people around her, a ghost in her own world. She explains that she is the embodiment of rationality. As the world succumbed to emotion, her power withered. Her memories shattered like a puzzle, leaving her with nothing but her name. She was like a wildfire without fuel, a fading concept in a world that had abandoned logic. Her flame grew smaller and smaller, destined to be extinguished, to fade into nothingness. Her eye opens, a brilliant blue spark of hope. Until I met you. She recalls the day they first met, when he accidentally bumped into her on the street. It was a mundane moment for him, but for her it was everything. He could see her. She reveals his unique significance. In all her years of fatting, he was the only one who could speak to her, the only one who could touch her. This means he is the only person qualified to carry her, the spirit of rationality. Using a metaphor, she explains their symbiotic bond. If she is a wildfire, he is the furnace that allows her to burn and avoid extinction. She then confesses her manipulation, admitting she pretended to be his colleague and helped with his mother's case solely to bind him to her. She continues, grabbing his arm to make her point. She protected him on the Emperor of the Sea and now makes him an offer. I will do my best to help you get everything you want. Money, power, status. Everything you desire, I will help you get it. But her help comes with a price. In exchange, you must become stronger, strong enough to look directly at that secret in the sky, strong enough to explore that secret in the sky. Finally, she reveals her personal stake in all this. The entity known as envy holds the key to her past, because the most important part I'm missing is in the sky. With all cards on the table, she extends her hand, making their pact official. Let's reintroduce ourselves. My name is Yi Li. Today is also my new birth. Chang Mo looks at her outstretched hand, and after a moment of consideration, a confident smile spreads across his face. He accepts. They shake hands as the sun rises, marking their new partnership. Chang Mo, he says, formally accepting his role. He looks directly at Yi Li and declares, this is our rebirth. The scene fades, and night falls over the sea. Elsewhere, a new group appears, observing the aftermath of the battle from a small raft. A woman, Miss Song, asks a hooded figure if they've identified the person responsible. The figure replies, surprisingly easy to find. They have already compiled a file on him. Chang Mo, an 18-year-old artist. His mother's death at age 10 is noted as suspicious, possibly hunted by someone named Liu Jia. Crucially, his medical reports show he was an ordinary person just a few months ago. Miss Song finds this impossible. She notes that his power level was clearly world-class. Such a significant increase in power in just a few months is simply impossible. The hooded subordinate offers the most likely theory, the same one the captain arrived at. That guy's power. Is it borrowed? Another subordinate confirms it's probable. The reasoning is sound. His eyes bled when he looked at the entity in the sky. If the power were truly his own, his body wouldn't have had such a violent, negative reaction to the strain. Miss Song's interest is piqued. To borrow a power strong enough to control the Black Sea is an incredible feat. She wonders who the true source of this power could be. She makes a decision. They were supposed to investigate for the captain, but this discovery is too important. Deciding to stall him, she quips that she needs her beauty sleep and they should leave. An older subordinate asks for clarification. "Miss Song, are we not bothering with that kid anymore?" She smirks, full of confidence. "Don't worry, with our Song family's influence in Great Zia, he can't escape, and the person behind him lending him power, neither of them will escape." With her eyes gleaming, she declares their new mission, a goal far grander than assisting the captain. "We must obtain this power for our lord." Her subordinates echo her fervor, concluding the chapter on an ominous note. After the intense battle, the scene shifts to a serene landscape as a crucial question hangs in the air. What's the plan next? Chang Mo is determined to find the adult that Liu Jia mentioned, the one behind his mother's death. But Yi Li reminds him that this adult is likely a very dangerous figure. Yi Li warns him that this is a big shot hidden in the shadows, not someone he can deal with in his current state. She explains that their top priority is to find shelter. The forces from the ship are looking for them, and her power is almost exhausted. If another world-class enemy appears, they're finished. Yi Li adds to the list of worries, mentioning that he has also provoked the forces behind the Emperor of the Sea, and that her unique emotional power is enough to drive many people crazy with greed. Suddenly, amidst the life-and-death conversation, Chang Mo lets out a cry of panic. Yi Li, startled, asks him what's wrong. His panic isn't about the world-class enemies, but something far more mundane. He suddenly remembered he was supposed to go to work, but then realizes it doesn't matter since the entire project team is dead. His mind spirals, lamenting the wasted opportunity of getting paid without working, and now worrying that he'll be fired for absence and have no money to live on. Yi Li is left utterly speechless by his bizarre priorities in such a critical situation. Chang Mo, too, falls silent, the weight of his new reality beginning to sink in. He looks up, a profound realization dawning on him. He says that only now does he truly feel that his life has become completely different and that he can never go back to how things were. Seeing his change in demeanor, Yi Li looks on with a knowing, almost satisfied expression. With the mood finally shifted back to survival, she tells him they're almost there. The shelter she mentioned is just ahead, visible in the distance. The scene transitions, with a clear blue sky marking their journey towards the sanctuary. As they arrive, the first thing they see is a group of patients with dumbfounded and bizarre expressions on their faces. Chang Mo looks around at the waiting room, filled with peculiar individuals, and asks Yi Li if this is really the place that could shelter them. She confirms that it is. The camera pans up, revealing their shelter to be none other than the Donghai City's second psychiatric hospital. Yi Li tells him not to underestimate the hospital. Though remote, it's an official institution specializing in treating patients with emotional illnesses. She explains her strategy. Donghai City is under the control of the Great Zia government, the most powerful force around. An emotion body like him is more likely to be absorbed into an official organization than hunted down. She then adds a cryptic comment, mentioning there's also a special place here that he unfortunately can't see right now, leaving Chang Mo confused. She jogs his memory, reminding him of the gigantic emotional monsters he saw previously. She reveals a shocking truth. One of those very monsters is guarding this hospital. The scene shifts to the hospital's sterile interior, where they wait in the reception area. Chang Mo speaks with a nurse at the counter, who introduces herself as Zhou Yang. She tells him to wait for his results, and he thanks her. As he settles in the waiting area, Chang Mo observes his surroundings and notices something peculiar. The hospital seems professional, yet he finds it strange that unlike the outside world, neither the nurses nor most of the patients here seem to have the emotional sacks on their heads that have become a constant in his vision. Just as he thinks this, he spots a glaring exception. A patient, Wang Bin, is laughing hysterically to himself. Chang Mo focuses on him and sees that he does have a sack on his head, but it's unlike any he's encountered before. It's a vibrant, multicolored aura, sparking his curiosity about what new emotion this could possibly represent. Yi Li explains to Chang Mo that his perception is changing. She says he has truly transformed, and as his understanding of himself deepens, his abilities improve. Where before he could only see sacks of anger, now he can see other types. She elaborates on the laughing patient, Wang Bin. The colorful aura is a sack that appears after infection by the happiness emotional virus, which causes the patient to be uncontrollably happy and laugh no matter what happens. Chang Mo processes this new information, understanding the evolution of his powers. He then turns his attention to someone new and greets them. A young woman with shaggy dark hair, Zhang Jiaqi, approaches him cheerfully, asking if he is also at the hospital to see a doctor. She sits next to him and he confirms her question. She comments that it's strange, as he seems quite normal to her. Chang Mo turns the question back on her, pointing out that she appears perfectly normal as well. Zhang Jiaqi becomes defensive, insisting that she is normal and was only forced to come here by her parents, leaving Chang Mo speechless. She explains that with emotional illnesses being so prevalent, her parents got worried and forced her to get a checkup by threatening to throw away her precious collection. Leaning in, Zhang Jiaqi shares what she learned online. This hospital specializes in severe patients and is divided into sections A and B, with Section A patients already being very abnormal. She adds dramatically that Section B is even scarier, filled with serial killers who are so dangerous they have to be chained up. Chang Mo seems concerned, but Yi Li steps in to correct the rumor. She clarifies that Section A is for infected but untransformed individuals, while Section B is for emotion bodies who have already transformed. Hearing this, Chang Mo asks Zhang Jiaqi why she is still here if this place is so specialized. She explains her logic. If she is rejected by a hospital like this, it will prove to her family that she is completely fine. Zhang Jiaqi smiles, confident in her own similar plan. She believes that while a normal hospital might admit her, there's no way this place, which supposedly handles serial killers, would ever take someone as normal as her. Just then, Nurse Zhou Yang appears, calling out the results for 2 other patients and recommending they transfer to the first psychiatric hospital for a checkup. The nurse then speaks to the perpetually laughing Wang Bin, telling him his medicine is ready. He responds with more laughter. Seeing that the hospital is turning away even these seemingly ordinary psychiatric patients, Zhang Jiaqi becomes even more certain. She happily tells Chang Mo that since they are both so normal, they'll definitely be sent home. But her confidence is shattered in an instant. The nurse calls out, "Chang Mo, Zhang Jiaqi, follow me. Handle admission procedures." Zhang Jiaqi's cheerful expression freezes into one of pure shock and disbelief. Her plan has completely backfired. Her shock gives way to a desperate, silent scream that echoes across the hospital grounds. Why? As they are led away, Nurse Zhou Yang and another staff member congratulate them with unsettling sincerity, calling their choice to come to the second hospital, the wisest of the wise. The nurse's creepy sales pitch continues as she boasts that the environment is better than a 5-star hotel with meals made by star-rated chefs, joking they might never want to leave. Nurse Zhou Yang, now formally identified by her name tag, smiles and tells them to relax and recuperate. Behind her, Zhang Jiaqi follows in a state of utter despair. Zhang Jiaqi can't comprehend the situation, wondering how it's possible for her to be admitted. The nurse offers a hollow platitude about the importance of timely intervention for mental health issues. As they are led deeper into the facility, Chang Mo quietly confers with Yi Li. He's confused, as he couldn't see an emotional monster on Jiaqi. Yi Li explains his ability isn't strong enough yet. Chang Mo then voices a critical question. How could the hospital detect them just by drawing blood? Yi Li explains that it's likely due to an emotion body's instrument unobservability, a trait she's heard of, but doesn't fully understand without seeing the specific technology herself. Their conversation trails off as the path ahead becomes clear. They are led towards a towering, imposing building that looks less like a hospital and more like a high-security prison. From a watchtower high above, a guard in tactical gear watches their every move, highlighting the intense security of the facility. As they get closer, Zhang Jiaqi freezes, a look of dawning horror spreading across her face as she realizes where they're headed. She recognizes the heavily fortified entrance. In a panic, she cries out, realizing this is Section B, the place rumored to house perverted serial killers. Grabbing Nurse Zhou Yang's arm, she pleads desperately, insisting she's never had a single thought about killing anyone and can't possibly belong in Section B. The nurse, however, maintains her sweet, reassuring demeanor. She dismisses the rumors as nonsense from sensationalist short videos and tells Jayaki that if she cooperates with the treatment, she'll be fine. Slightly reassured, Jang Jayaki hesitantly asks if she's telling the truth. The nurse smiles and confirms, of course. But her brief moment of relief is shattered as her eyes dart around, noticing a new, terrifying detail. She asks with growing fear why the nurse and all the surrounding staff are carrying guns. The threat is not just in her head. From a tower above, a sniper takes aim directly at the group. The sniper zeroes in, his finger ready on the trigger, confirming the lethal level of security. Chang Mo, watching the scene unfold, understands the immense danger. He wonders if the guards all saw it. And indeed they did. Triggered by her extreme fear, Jang Jayaki's emotional monster has manifested, a horrifying, writhing mass of eyeballs. With a grim expression, Chang Mo quietly asks Yi Li what happens to the patients who aren't selected by the authorities. Yi Li gives a chilling response. They are locked up, and if they show dangerous tendencies, they might be executed on the spot. She warns him not to act rashly. The sniper remains in position, his aim steady, waiting for the command to fire. Nurse Zhou Yang subtly moves her hand, ready to draw the handgun hidden by her clipboard. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife as the sniper continues to track his target. Chang Mo observes the standoff, his expression calm and analytical as he weighs his options. As Jang Jayaki trembles, her emotional monster fully visible to Chang Mo, he reaches out and places a hand on her shoulder. He calmly tells her to relax, warning her that if she remains so nervous, she'll be mistaken for a dangerous person and could be beaten to death. He then channels his own rational power, his hand glowing with a serene blue energy as he makes contact with her manifested emotions. Instantly, his power dissipates the chaotic monster. The mass of eyes dissolves, leaving Jang Jayaki's face clear, though still stunned. She can only stammer in confusion, still reeling from the terror and the sudden calm that has washed over her. Nurse Zhou Yang looks on, hiding her shock. She thinks to herself that Jang Jayaki's emotional monster was on the verge of going out of control, yet somehow she stabilized. Chang Mo's intervention did not go unnoticed. After the tense standoff, Nurse Zhou Yang quietly exhales, a brief moment of relief after the situation was de-escalated. Yi Li internally scolds Chang Mo, shocked that he would risk himself out of compassion. Chang Mo justifies his actions, claiming he couldn't just watch her die and that the authorities would prefer someone compassionate. Yi Li scoffs at the idea he was genuinely concerned for her safety. But the danger was far from over. With a cold, merciless expression, Nurse Zhou Yang speaks into a hidden communicator and gives a single, chilling order. Shoot. A tranquilizer dart hits Jang Jayaki, and she immediately begins to collapse. Chang Mo turns around, shocked, as Jang Jayaki falls limply behind him. She hits the ground with a dull thud. Chang Mo and the nurse are the only ones left standing. Kneeling beside her, a chillingly familiar sensation washes over Chang Mo. He feels like he is losing his mind, having witnessed death so many times that it has now become normal. However, as he examines her, he notices there's no blood. She wasn't shot with a real bullet. He realizes it must have been a tranquilizer. Chang Mo lets out a breath of relief. Yi Li comments that he handled the situation well, though he was slow to react. He apologizes, still processing the rapid turn of events. A medical team swiftly arrives with a stretcher. Nurse Zhou Yang coolly reports her assessment. Unknown emotional entity, emotionally unstable, contained as high risk. The team receives the patient and wheels her away. Chang Mo watches them go, a worried expression on his face. He asks aloud, high risk, what will happen to her? Putting her friendly mask back on, Nurse Zhou Yang playfully asks if he wasn't scared just now, commenting on how calm he looks. She then offers to give him a personal evaluation on the spot. Chang Mo, seeing a potential opportunity to join the authorities and gain protection, immediately agrees to the evaluation. The nurse begins her questions, noting how rare it is for someone to come to the psychiatric hospital on their own initiative and asking for his reasons. This is the moment Chang Mo decides to gamble. He reasons that if he wants to join the official organization, hiding his power is pointless. Instead, he must show his value as much as possible and bear the risks that come with it. He begins by explaining that he sees things others can't, cysts on people's heads and monsters, framing it as a hallucination. Then he makes his move. Manifesting his crystalline power around his hand, he asks her directly, "Can you see what's in my hand?" Nurse Jo Yang stares, her eyes wide with genuine shock at this blatant and powerful display of an emotional entity. She quickly collects herself, her professional demeanor returning. "This is really unexpected," she says calmly. "I have to report this to my superiors." But her words are a lie. Her face hardens once more as she gives the same cold command into her communicator. "Shoot." Chang Mo's eyes widen as he realizes he has been completely played. His gamble failed. He's hit with another tranquilizer dart, his body jolting from the impact. He collapses to the ground, the trap now fully sprung. Speaking into her comms, Nurse Jo Yang puts on a panicked act for anyone listening. "What's going on? Two emotional body types I've never seen before in one day? I'm so scared." She then congratulates the sniper. "Old Lee, well done. Every shot hits its target." The sniper, Old Lee, laughs heartily. "Everyone has worked hard," he replies. He then casually asks why she had him shoot Chang Mo in the end, since he looked pretty normal. The nurse explains that the ones who look normal are often the most terrifying. She reveals she was suspicious from the moment he entered, having noticed something wrong with his body language on the surveillance footage, even though he hid it well. Continuing her internal assessment, Nurse Jo Yang notes a critical detail. Chang Mo was talking to an invisible person. She misinterprets this as typical schizophrenia, concluding that his current mild personality is just a cover for a very dangerous alter ego. What makes him truly terrifying to her is that his emotional power is a type she has never seen, and when he used it, no monster appeared. This means he has mastered his power, making him a far greater threat than the hysterical girl. He must be subdued immediately. With her decision made, she turns away from the tranquilized Chang Mo and gives the order to have him moved. But just as she gives the command, the impossible happens. Behind her, Chang Mo begins to push himself off the ground, resisting the powerful sedative. She stares in absolute disbelief as he gets to his hands and knees, the tranquilizer clearly not working as intended. Her composure finally breaks. She screams in shock, dropping her clipboard, unable to comprehend how he is still conscious. High above, the sniper, Old Lee, shares her panic. He yells into his comms that the target is back up. An alarm immediately blares across the entire facility, escalating the situation to a level 1 alert. In response to the highest alert level, heavily armed security forces begin to mobilize, rushing towards the courtyard. Within seconds, guards line the walls of the compound, all with their rifles aimed down at the lone figure below. Yili appears beside the groggy Chang Mo. She tells him she just wanted him to stay awake for what was about to happen. His eyes sharpen as he takes in the overwhelming show of force surrounding him. He understands he has no chance in a direct fight. Making a swift tactical decision, Chang Mo gets on his knees, raises his hands, and shouts, "Don't shoot! I surrender! I surrender!" Nurse Jo Yang is left completely dumbfounded by his sudden and unconditional surrender. The sniper team is equally stunned into silence, not expecting such a bizarre outcome after a level 1 alert. A moment of calm settles over the scene, the blue sky a stark contrast to the tense drama that just unfolded. Sometime later, Chang Mo stands calmly with his hands bound in special chains. Nurse Jo Yang thinks to herself that the situation is now finally under control. She gloats, telling him that while he does have special powers, the chain she's put on him suppresses all such abilities, making him no different from an ordinary person. Chang Mo examines his bonds, wondering if this chain can truly suppress all emotional power. But as he does, he feels something strange. Instead of feeling weaker, he feels an endless amount of power flowing into him directly from the chains. They aren't suppressing him at all. Yili reappears, asking rhetorically if he finds it strange that he's absorbing the power of the very chains meant to restrain him. She explains the secret. The metal used to make the chain has long been infected by rational emotions. Because of this, it has the effect of suppressing other emotional forces. She concludes with a smile, "This may be a prison for others, but it is a great tonic for you." The scene then shifts to the modern skyscraper of the Donghai City Emotional Management Bureau. Inside, a man identified as Director Kwai-ming is on the phone, reporting to his superior. He informs Miss Song that he's found Chang Mo, who has been admitted to Section B of the second hospital. On the other end of the line, the mysterious Miss Song confirms that the second hospital is under the director's jurisdiction. He eagerly assures her he will go and retrieve Chang Mo right away. On the other end of the line, Miss Song listens to Director Kwai-ming's report, her hand holding the phone as the conspiracy unfolds. She smiles, pleased with the news. It went pretty smoothly, she says to herself. With a predatory look, she adds, Chang Mo, he looks pretty good. The scene pulls back to reveal the horrifying truth. Miss Song stands in a bizarre, pink room filled with stuffed rabbits and a tortured man strapped to a chair. Looking at her bloody tools, she speaks to her victim, but her thoughts are on her new prize. We can still have some fun before we take out your power. I really want to see your pretty little face, Chang Mo, filled with pain and despair. The trap was set, and the huntress is ready to play. The scene opens at the second mental hospital, where a calm exterior belies the inner turmoil. Two conflicting voices cry out, one desperately pleading to hold on, the other consumed by an irresistible, obsessive curiosity. The source of the commotion is revealed. A patient, Zio Jiaki, has lost control. Her head has grotesquely erupted into a mass of eyeballs as her obsession spirals. A horrified nurse, Kobayashi, begs her to control her emotions, but Jiaki's desire is all-consuming. She wants to know how a handsome man with an 8-pack takes a shower. Identified as Nurse Kobayashi, she urgently holds a syringe, shouting that the patient, referred to as Sister Joe, is dying and needs her medicine immediately. The situation is critical. However, a voice of authority interjects, telling Kobayashi to wait and let the patient try to regain control through her own willpower. This unexpected command halts her in her tracks. But Zio Jiaki's outburst only intensifies. She screams in anguish, questioning if it's truly wrong to have such a simple, burning desire to see handsome men. Ignoring the previous order to wait, a determined Nurse Kobayashi decides she can't stand by any longer. She shouts to apply the medicine quickly, rushing forward to intervene. Just as she's about to act, something startles her. With a shocked expression, she fumbles, and the crucial syringe slips from her grasp, tumbling through the air. Panic erupts. As the syringe falls, a flurry of voices fills the air with accusations and apologies, highlighting the chaos and gravity of the mistake made at a critical moment. Suddenly, a hand reaches out, stopping Zio Jiaki's monstrous eyeball form just inches from the terrified Nurse Kobayashi, who can only stare in disbelief at the unexpected intervention. The rescuer is revealed to be Dr. Lu Qingge, a blonde doctor with glasses. She calmly addresses the patient, cleverly using her obsession as leverage. Calm down. If you lose control and turn into a monster, you'll never see me again. Head nurse of Area B, Yan Bei, admonishes Dr. Lu for her unconventional methods. But Dr. Lu simply states her faith in the patient, whose name is finally confirmed to be Zio Jiaki. Dr. Lu's words have an immediate, powerful effect. Zio Jiaki's emotional form lets out a pained scream as the psychological suggestion begins to work against the monstrous manifestation. The mass of eyeballs begins to shatter and dissolve, revealing the human form of Zio Jiaki underneath. The transformation is revering, and the immediate danger subsides. The situation is now under control. Zio Jiaki sits on her bed, exhausted but stable. As the medical staff breathes a sigh of relief, Dr. Lu notes that the patient's condition is now basically clear. Later, Dr. Lu explains the case. Zio Jiaki's obsession with handsome men triggered her latent power, a form of clairvoyance, allowing her to see a man showering at home. Her condition is classified as the seventh unknown emotional entity with a low risk level. In a moment of dark humor, a silent young man with glasses asks Zio Jiaki if her parents also sent her here for the crime of peeping at handsome men showering. She couldn't help but let out a soft, amused laugh. Dr. Lu then turns her attention to this silent patient. His file notes that while his emotions are stable, he sought treatment for seeing and possessing powers beyond normal human perception. He denies being schizophrenic, claiming he simply likes talking to himself. A look at his file reveals the nature of his power, the ability to condense crystals and release blue flames from his hands. He is tentatively identified as another, seventh unknown type of emotional body, but with a more serious medium danger level. Dr. Lu reassures the patient that he is very stable and will be discharged soon. However, she explains that until they fully understand his abilities, the chains on his wrists must remain as a precaution. He quietly accepts this. Walking away, Dr. Lu reviews her notes and moves on to her next case. As she looks towards a patient with pink hair, she mutters to herself that this one is still the most troublesome of all. This patient's name is Chen Ju. According to his file, he exhibits no bad behavior or adverse reactions. Aside from an abnormal blood test, he appears no different from an ordinary person. However, Dr. Lu's internal thoughts reveal her true concern. She notes that there is a definite difference. Normal people are not like this. Chen Ju's vacant, almost simplistic expression is what sets him apart. She tentatively designates him as the sixth unknown emotional body. Although his current risk level is low, she can't shake the feeling that he's a major headache waiting to happen. While the doctor contemplates her troublesome patient, the silent patient observes Chen Ju from afar, philosophically wondering if Chen Ju is an emotional being with impaired intelligence, or if idiocy itself can be classified as an emotion. But while some patients ponder the nature of their existence, Zio Jiaki has a much simpler take. She celebrates ecstatically, thrilled that she's not a psychopath but a superhuman. For her, the power to watch handsome men shower isn't a curse, it's a gift from heaven. Dr. Lu cuts through Zio Jiaki's celebration with a stern warning. She tells her not to take her powers lightly, explaining that, strictly speaking, all emotional bodies are a form of psychosis. The only difference is whether or not one can control it. She continues her lecture, revealing the hospital's true purpose. It is a subsidiary of the Great Xia Kingdom's Emotional Body Management Bureau, a secret organization tasked with managing all emotional bodies to ensure they don't harm society. The silent patient, Chang Mo, speaks up, questioning if they are required to obey this state management. Dr. Lu confirms it, stating that proper treatment is mandatory and that committing any crime outside the hospital will be a violation of the law. Her tone becomes menacing as she leans in, warning them that if the Donghai City branch of the Bureau comes to arrest them, they won't be as gentle as she is. She tells them they are lucky to be alive and that she won't be able to protect them if they step out of line. As she wraps up her lecture, a nurse urgently calls for her. Unfazed, Dr. Lu tells the patients to ask the nurse if they're interested in the management method before calmly agreeing to attend to the new situation. The scene settles on the quiet hospital ward. While Zio Jiaki laughs and another patient rests, Chang Mo sits on his bed, silently reading a book, his mind a world away from the present. His thoughts drift to a conversation with his mysterious partner, a woman with long black hair and striking blue eyes. He recalls her proposition to join the official organization of Donghai, which he now realizes is the very bureau Dr. Lu just described. He flips through the book, his eyes landing on Article 7 of the Emotional Body Secret Management Act. It outlines the Bureau's absolute right to manage, treat, and even pass judgment on emotional bodies, ensuring they abide by national laws. A dark thought crosses his mind, a contradiction he can't ignore. If the law is so absolute, why was Liu Jia, the man who murdered his mother, still at large for so long? His partner's voice echoes in his memory, providing a cynical answer. While fairness and justice are necessary ideals, the reality is that Liu Jia's freedom was thanks to secret deals and the involvement of corrupt senior officials within the Emotional Management Bureau. The memory becomes sharper, more painful. He remembers asking her the crucial question: how did she know for certain that it was Liu Jia who killed his mother? She had explained that while the police initially suspected Liu Jia, the case was abruptly transferred to a secret department, and the investigation was shut down. That secret department was, of course, the Donghai Emotional Body Management Bureau. The pieces click into place with horrifying clarity. Liu Jia's backer is a senior executive within the bureau, and this hospital is a subsidiary of that very same bureau. The full weight of their situation crashes down on him. Lying in his hospital bed, Chang Mo comes to a terrifying realization. By seeking refuge here, they may have walked directly into a trap. Are they doomed? He mentally pushes back at his partner's memory, reminding her that coming here was her idea. He questions her judgment, feeling the walls closing in. She laughs it off, admitting her memory before meeting him has become hazy. She doesn't recall the specific reason, only that she knew it was a gamble worth taking, which is why she let him come. She tells him to stop worrying. Now that they are here, their only course of action is to absorb the power of the chains binding him. For everything else, he must trust the plan she laid out before her memory began to fade. The scene shifts. A quiet sigh escapes into the open sky, signaling a change in focus and a brief moment of peace before the next storm. Inside an office, a hand carefully places a steaming cup of coffee onto a polished desk, an offering of calm hospitality. Dr. Lu stands respectfully as she serves the coffee to her visitor, a man in a suit she addresses as Director. This is Director Zhao, an executive from the Emotional Body Management Bureau. Director Zhao leans back in his chair, taking a slow, deliberate sip from the cup, his expression unreadable as he savors the moment. But the calm is shattered in an instant. With a sudden burst of rage, he slams the cup down, shattering it and spilling hot coffee everywhere in a violent display of fury. Dr. Lu is completely taken aback by the director's actions. She looks at the seething director and stammers, "WH? What's wrong?" he growls. "What's wrong?" His fury boiling over, Director Zhao throws a stack of papers into the air, yelling at Dr. Lu to stop feigning ignorance and see for herself what she has done. Outside the door, Nurse Yanbei and Nurse Kobayashi listen in on the commotion. As they watch the scene unfold, one wonders why the director is so aggressive, but the other hints at a deeper hospital politic at play. Nurse Yanbei explains the hospital politics to her colleague. Director Zhao is technically the dean's boss and controls their funding, which is why the dean stopped meeting with him personally, forcing Dr. Lu to handle his visits instead. From the nurse's perspective, Director Zhao is disrespectful and cruel to Dr. Lu, who they believe trembles with fear every time she has to face him, a stark contrast to the respect he shows the dean. Back in the office, Director Zhao reveals the source of his fury. He points to a file containing a picture of Chang Mo, revealing that this man committed murder on the Sea Emperor cruise ship just last night and was subsequently admitted into their hospital. He berates the seemingly terrified Dr. Lu, questioning if she is aware of the powerful people behind the Sea Emperor, or the fact that she has knowingly processed the admission of a murderer. His voice rises as he exclaims that this isn't just a simple crime anymore. It has escalated into a full-blown diplomatic incident before he lets out a sharp, angry breath. With a menacing look, Director Zhao issues his ultimatum: hand the patient over to him immediately or don't blame him for getting rude. The threat hangs heavy in the air. From an overhead view, the scene looks grim. Director Zhao stands triumphantly over Dr. Lu, who is crouched on the floor, appearing to pick up the files he threw, the picture of defeat. Director Zhao scoffs internally, thinking how easy Dr. Lu is to handle. He smugly assumes that he has finally scared her so badly that she can't even tremble anymore. But then something impossible happens. A single bright red drop of liquid splatters onto the shoulder of his suit jacket. Confused, he touches the spot. What? He thinks, trying to dismiss the strange occurrence as nothing more than an illusion, a trick of the light. His denial is short-lived. Thick, viscous streams of blood suddenly begin to pour down from the ceiling, dripping all over him. He looks around wildly, but just as quickly as it appeared, the blood is gone. He's left standing in the pristine office, questioning his own senses. Disappeared? Is this an illusion? A deep sense of unease creeps over him as he tries to process what he just saw. He can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. The illusion returns with a vengeance. His vision is consumed by streaks of blood, and his eyes widen in pure, unadulterated terror. The office melts away, replaced by a terrifying, blood-red hellscape. Director Zhao finds himself standing utterly alone in this new, nightmarish reality. He is trapped in a world made of nightmares, standing ankle-deep in a pool of blood, surrounded by towering, pillar-like formations of gore. Overwhelmed by the horrific scene, he takes a panicked step back, stumbling through the gruesome landscape created by the powerful illusion. His mind finally catches up to the horror. He realizes this is emotional power. He was just in his office, but now he's surrounded by a sea of blood and corpses. He can't comprehend what kind of power could create such a terrifying reality. He recalls his previous assessment of Dr. Lu Qingzhe, a quiet, gentle, and well-educated woman he thought would be easy to manipulate. That was precisely why he came to her directly. Now, facing her true form, he's consumed by terror. Her hair floats ominously, and her eye glows with a menacing red light. The gentle doctor is gone, replaced by a being of immense power. He questions if this is even the same person. His arrogance shattered, replaced by primal fear, Director Zhao's only instinct is to escape. He turns to run for his life. His escape is cut short by a solid dong. He's blocked by an unseen barrier or presence, stopping him dead in his tracks. A new figure enters the room. An elderly woman with a gentle smile, identified as the dean of the second mental hospital, Yi Mingqiu. She calmly chides Director Zhao, asking why he didn't inform her of his visit. The tableau of terror is frozen. A terrified Director Zhao is trapped between the imposing power of Dr. Lu and the sudden, commanding presence of Dean Yi Mingqiu, who has appeared in the doorway, instantly seizing control of the atmosphere. With the dean's arrival, the horrifying illusion shatters. The sea of blood vanishes, leaving a bewildered and sweat-soaked Director Zhao to stare up from the floor, saved from one nightmare only to face the cold, calculating authority of the dean. Dean Yi Mingqiu wastes no time, her calm voice cutting through the tension. She directly addresses the shaken Director Zhao, confirming that his entire visit is about the patient, Chang Mo. With surgical precision, the dean dismantles his entire argument. She reveals that a background check showed the man Chang Mo killed, Liu Jia, was an emotional being who had renounced his citizenship years ago. Since the incident occurred on the high seas and no citizens were harmed, Chang Mo did not violate the Emotional Body Management Act. Director Zhao stammers, trying to regain his footing. He brings up the immense pressure from the powerful backers of the Sea Emperor, insisting that he must provide an explanation to his superiors today. The dean's expression hardens. With an icy glare, she asks if he is referring to the powerful Song family, calling his bluff. She presses her advantage, her voice dripping with scorn. She questions whether the internal affairs of their nation should now be dictated by the whims of the Sea Emperor conglomerate, shamming him for his deference to outside powers. Desperate, Zhao brings up that Liu Jia was a known suspect, questioning why the Bureau was blind to him flaunting himself in the city. The dean instantly shuts him down, threatening to report his incompetence and nonsensical arguments to the higher-ups. Completely and utterly defeated, Director Zhao turns and leaves the hospital, his authority shattered. Dean Yi Mingqiu watches from the window as his car drives away, offering a mockingly polite farewell. "Director, take care." The moment he's gone, the dean's formal demeanor vanishes. She turns to Dr. Lu and scolds her, asking why she would waste time talking nonsense with a bastard like him. Dr. Lu's personality flips entirely. The terrified act melts away, and she playfully clings to the dean, gushing about how awesome her mentor is. The fear was just a performance. The dean gently taps Dr. Lu on the head with her cane, telling her to control her emotions. Dr. Lu admits that after so many years of pressure, she's finally starting to feel her own condition stabilize, hinting at her own nature as an emotional body. The dean's tone becomes serious again, reminding Dr. Lu that this is a critical moment for her, and she cannot afford to be careless. Dr. Lu sobers up, understanding the gravity of the warning. Dr. Lu speculates on the events. She wonders if a world-class battle really did break out on the Sea Emperor, and if the powerful individual involved could have been Chang Mo himself, with the ship as his true target all along. The dean dismisses the idea. Showing Dr. Lu the files, she points out that Chang Mo has lived in Donghai City his whole life and has passed every physical examination with normal results. It can't be him. This leads them to a chilling conclusion. If the power wasn't Chang Mo's, then there must be another, unknown, world-class emotional body secretly supporting him. Dr. Lu is bewildered. Why would a world-class entity fight the Sea Emperor just to save Chang Mo? And more importantly, if he has such powerful backing, why would he come to their hospital for refuge? A horrifying possibility dawns on Dr. Lu, and her eyes glow red with intensity. Could it be that their hospital is the next target of this mysterious world-class power? Seeing her subordinates spiraling, the dean gives her another sharp tap on the head with her cane, snapping her out of her paranoid thoughts. The dean playfully chides Dr. Lu for letting the flowers she was meant to care for wilt in a corner. She tells her to stop getting distracted and focus on the business at hand. She reassures Dr. Lu that the powerful entity is not in their hospital. However, she admits her own misgivings about Chang Mo, confessing that she had been tempted to simply hand him over to Director Zhao. The dean uses her plants as a metaphor to explain her reasoning. An emotional body, she says, is like a plant. Some can thrive on their own, but others need support and guidance to properly take root. She reveals the tragic truth about Chang Mo. He is a poor child whose parents died early. Just when his life was improving, he was hunted by an emotional body, and that emotional body was none other than Liu Jia, the very suspect who killed his mother. This, the dean explains, is no coincidence. It was a clear setup. She knows that many secret organizations and cults specifically target people with powerful grudges, like Chang Mo, offering them revenge in exchange for their unwavering loyalty. She concludes that Chang Mo likely came to the hospital with a hidden mission. However, since he is a citizen of their country, they have a duty to help him and prevent him from going astray. The scene transitions to an exterior shot of the modern, imposing headquarters of the Donghai City Emotional Management Bureau, the center of the conspiracy they were just discussing. Back at the bureau headquarters, the humiliated Director Zhao is fuming. Still reeling from the illusion, he curses, demanding to know who that woman, Dr. Lu, really is. He decides to abuse his authority to get answers, resolving to look her up on the Emotional Management Bureau's internal network to uncover her file. But his attempt is blocked. An error message flashes on the screen, insufficient permission, unable to access. He stares in disbelief, shocked that he, a director, doesn't have the clearance to view her file. Just then his phone rings, adding to his frustration. The caller ID displays a name that makes his blood run cold, Miss Song. He answers the call, and his previously arrogant demeanor evaporates. He stammers to Miss Song that the matter will take time, but she cuts him off, and he immediately becomes subservient, promising his full cooperation. After a brief, tense conversation, he quickly hangs up the phone. The moment the call ends, he slams his hand down on his desk, cursing in utter frustration. He is trapped and powerless, a pawn in a much larger game. The scene transitions, a calm sky hanging over the unfolding drama. Elsewhere, the powerful and elegant Miss Song sits at an outdoor table, calmly enjoying tea with her stern subordinate, Mr. Xiao. Her voice is cold and dismissive. She tells Mr. Xiao that since the old woman, Dinyi Minkyu, is proving to be a nuisance, they will simply move up their plans and raise the hospital's Area B to the ground. As an afterthought, she adds that he should bring Chang Mo back as well. With chilling indifference, he extinguishes the cigarette, sealing the hospital's fate. Mr. Xiao, her loyal and ruthless enforcer, looks on with a steely gaze and replies with two simple words, "No problem." The story jumps forward to the next night. An exterior shot of the second mental hospital's Area B looms against the dark sky, a silent target awaiting the impending assault. Inside, Chang Mo sits on his bed, the chains on his wrists glowing as a powerful blue aura erupts from his body. He is absorbing the energy, growing stronger. His mysterious partner materializes before him, looking pleased. She notes that his rational and emotional strength has increased significantly, but warns him that if he keeps going like this, he will soon need a law. Chang Mo is confused by this new term, questioning what exactly a law is. She explains that a law is a specific, tailored plan for an emotional body to grow. It's a series of methods for how to absorb, and more importantly, how to control one's power to keep it from spiraling into chaos. She clarifies that while he has borrowed her power to become world-class, it is not a power he can truly control. To truly master strong power, he must follow the structured path of a law, digesting it step by step. The chapter ends as the reality of his situation sinks in for Chang Mo. His power is accumulating far too quickly. He realizes that without a rational law to guide and control this growth, he will lose control very soon.